Hi, Zizaran with another video, and this is going to be a final update to the artillery ballista build. I made like a perfect gear set, not on my character sadly, but like a example of what a perfect gear set would be, and we made some changes to the build. So I wanted to share that with you, and now I'll maybe work on a crossbow or ignite build next, not 100% sure. And then we have Last Epoch soon, so just wanted to get a full update out there for those that are playing it, and Artillery Ballista has been an absolute blast. I've also been starting to do bosses now as well. I did the expedition boss, even though everything like this is pretty terrifying and hardcore to be honest, it did die very quickly. So I'm pretty happy with my damage now, and we just had a pretty big upgrade for that, so let's see what we've done. So I've updated like my gear set on Path of Building, and a lot of what you might have noticed I've been doing is I'm getting mana on every piece of gear that I can. I still really want better rings. I haven't really... These are... I actually found this in the campaign, and this one I bought pretty early, and it's a bit hard to shift off because of the corruption. But yeah, my rings is what I would want a big upgrade on next, and a +3 amulet would be pretty big. I've not really managed to get like a good corruption on chest. The best corruption you can get on chest is 5% fist reduction, so I would want that, but a third socket's pretty okay too, and then just really high implicit. Obviously we have to have a white armor because of our Ascendancy. Hollow Mask, it doesn't say online when I looked, but it says like life regen, but it's life regeneration rate. So obviously this is pretty good for my regen. It basically gives me like 100. Very happy with that. And then I do want a better crossbow. But yeah, I'll show the max roll planner in a sec. I did do like a perfect gear set, but I want to talk a little bit about someone in chat yesterday was like, Ziz, you could do a 4th artillery ballista with separate gem links, and it was a brilliant idea. So I'm using my main artillery ballista, has primal armaments, martial tempo, fire infusion, acceleration, and then fire pen for mapping. Now, the reason I use Fire Pen is because I don't use flammability or oil grenade when killing things normally. So it's nice to ignore some of the resist that normal monsters have. For bosses, I swap out Deliberation and Conk Effect for high damage. And I really like having acceleration in for mapping. I don't think I can play without it. Now, if you really hate the mana issues and you don't have a lot of mana on gear, you can use Inspiration instead of, let's say, Fire Pen. Or acceleration. I really don't like dropping acceleration. I feel like you barely ever hit monsters. Now, the 4th artillery ballista and how that works, and a lot of people have been asking me why don't I use overabundance in my main links. Well, we're using overabundance in the 2nd artillery ballista. So I have overabundance and greatwood, and this is basically consuming your totem limit. So this is 30% more damage, 15% more AoE, and 30% more totem life, but only on this totem. And then it uses Immolate for 30% more damage, and Elemental Focus for 25. I think I'm out of support gems unless I want to start using Deliberation and then just swap it out for single target, but yeah, it's pretty rough. We don't have a 6th gem for this one, if I even had another one. So the way this plays is I place those down, and then boom, the 4th one. You can see it's larger, girthier, and betterer. Now, I don't always bother with 4 while mapping. I don't like constantly do this per pack. It's just extra damage for bosses, but it is actually quite substantial damage with no downside. As for the other auras and stuff, like I have Shield Charge with Ingenuity and Second Wind. I have Flammability with Arcane Tempo and Heightened Curse. Maybe there's something I can put in here. Fast Forward, Clarity, and Vitality on my Time of Need, and I had to put some Quality on my Companion. I have Haste, All Damage Chills, and All Damage Shocks. So lucky I actually found that in a map. It's a beast of a beast. And then we have Oil Grenade with Encumbrance, Persistence, and Strip Away. So here you can see these are my ratings. I've asked if we can change these so they're all like 1 is bad and 5 is good and have it consistent, because right now 1 is good here but 1 is bad here, so like we should probably change that. But anyway, I added that there, but I added a 4th tab. So this is just what I'm wearing, and then I added a 4th tab with like what I would consider perfect gear, because you don't need cold or lightning on your gear once you're stacking enough fire res. You're basically gonna need like fire, stats, mana, fire damage, and a lot of chaos res. And you do need quite a lot of chaos res. The mana makes a big difference, to be honest. You do want some rarity too, but it's kind of hard to fit. Mana regen as well makes a big difference, but you're just always going to be chugging your potion. I don't want to go blood magic. And then +7 with high LE damage and a third socket is the best corruption there. +1 skills is the best corruption there. These, I would even consider having mediocre rings, but going for regen rings, because getting an additional 4% regen that gets affected by our 50% increased life recovery rate, that's effectively getting 6% more regen. Like, I'm currently at 19 or 20% life regen. Getting to 26 would be pretty crazy. So yeah, and obviously the more life you get, that's even better. So maybe going for mediocre rings and volleying them is the play. Boots can vol for movement speed. It just wouldn't let me select it here. Belt can vol for 3 max res. Now, a big thing about doing that, what you can do is there are 2 options here. So at some point, you have so much max res from gear that you might not need this. Then there are 2 options. You can do 75 fire res to like make sure you just like still have 90 max res, or that you like this is good to take if you are not 90 max res without any of them. Like maybe you're, let's say you're at 85 and tantalum alloy only puts you at 88 or something, then you can take it and it'll give you a bunch of cold and lightning res, right? You're effectively getting like 37 or whatever cold and lightning. Makes gearing easier as opposed to this one, which just gives you the max res. So if this one caps you anyway, that's nice. But if you have so much max res on gear, and you probably will need the +3 max on belt, then there is the +5 max res belt. I don't want to lose the life and mana. What you can take is reduced critical damage bonus. Like this would be pretty huge. So 50% crit reduction. We don't really have enough armor to apply chaos damage to hits, but none of the others like super matter. We don't have enough strength to take 20% strength, but yeah, you have some options there at least. Skill tree wise, it's a little bit about utility. Like you have the nodes here, you have the nodes here. I'd be pretty tempted to take these just for even easier mana, converting a little bit. These are pretty nice. And then for the last 2 points, not that any of you will hit level 100 because it takes for fucking ever. But, you know, it's nice to know where the points are going. Those things and those things would probably be the last stuff. Now, there is maybe a world where you could drop these 3 when you have enough plus max res as well, but they're pretty efficient and jewels are really good. A big tip for crafting jewels, what I was looking for blue max fire res jewels with either like pen or fire damage or totem damage, and then I was using a greater essence of flames. It turned out a lot of people didn't know that you could use greater essences on jewels, so that's how I have triple set jewels on everything I have. And I made 5 or 6, and I've tried volleying to get a new stat, but not hit any of them, and I have not gotten any 4-stat ones. But like attack damage, totem damage, everything like that works. I do have a bunch of stuff in the notes as well. Make sure you remember that these are scrollable. So keep that in mind. Now, a lot of people will be asking, what about other ascendancies? And I know Tatantiel does a Gemling Legionnaire. He does really good guides. I would absolutely recommend that. I think that might be better for softcore as well. You have less defense and less tank, but you can maybe mitigate that with like the frost conversion gloves. I didn't really like those for Smith and Kitava, but I think it's a good option on the higher damage ascendancies. So Titan and Gemling Legionnaire would be both my options. I would definitely not try Tactician because this node does not work on ballistas. Now, a lot of people are arguing whether it's a bug or not, and regardless if it's a bug or intended, it is definitely weird to us as players, because something that really puts all the arguments to rest whether totems should be allied or not is the fact that the literal underscored allies is highlighted in totems. So there's been some semantic discussions here, but clearly if they weren't supposed to be allied, then probably the actual highlightable allies would not be when you hold alt on them. So I'll chalk it up to a bug, and that also means that the nodes like this, I'm only getting 6% attack speed. Attack speed is so nice, however, that I'm still okay with it, but it would be nice to get that final 6%. That's what I've been doing on this build currently. I am still playing the build for a bit, even though I do want to make a new build soon. This is my main character, my in-game character. I think this will be the final update. So that's why I made sure to bring in the like perfect gear and stuff and what I would continue doing with the skill tree. So as far as I can tell, that's all I can think of doing there. So I hope you guys enjoyed the build and had a good time with it. It's done really well for me. Made me a lot of currency. I wonder how my pilfering ring looks. Poor. But you know, we've found everything except a mirror now, at least. So it got us pretty far and set me up with a pretty good economy. I'm clearing very easily tier 15s now. And there's not that much more I can do. The mana, though, has been really nice. As you can see, I have now 900. So I can actually put all 4 totems down in one pool without inspiration. And yeah, super recommend mana. And I can get more. I think I'd end up with like 12 or 1300 mana on a perfect build. So either way, thanks for watching. Sub if you liked the video, but more importantly, try to die less than I do.